Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Niasim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I saw this video from Sister Tabitha. And now let me tell us something. Some people think everything is all about money. Do not get me wrong. Money is very important. Money is very vital. It boosts your life and make things easier. But let me tell you, there are some money you will collect that you will never stop paying for it, especially when it is coming from a bad source or you have to do bad thing to get it. You all personally told me that not all money is good money, and that is absolutely truth. Now you all remember that during the time Candace Owens was campaigning for Donald Trump, everybody speculated that this woman is being paid. Yeah, I remember when I was running commentary, Daily Wires is the name. If you watch this video to the end, you definitely will see where I was struggling to get the name of the company she worked with, Daily Wires, right? So now Nick Fuentes is out here bashing her, calling her all sorts of names. Now let me tell you something. For all the black people that I see that go online talk ill about black people, one thing I'm going to tell you is that if you are smart, you should learn from what is happening to Candace Owens. With Candace Owens is a woman and they are still scared of Candace Owens. You as a man will never be picked. You as a man will never be picked because she has not been picked too. So all this period that she's been yapping, she's been collecting money. Let's get into this video.
Psst. Y'all got y'all teacups? I got some tea. Let's sip. Baby, here lately, Candace Owens cannot win for losing. And I don't care how many times you white supremacists get down in my comment section and tell me how smart Candace Owens is. She is not smart. If she was smart, she would have known that dancing with white supremacist devils would only lead her to this point. But no, for years, Candace Owens danced with them devils and she made a whole lot of money doing it. She met her millionaire husband by doing it. But now that she has fallen from the great wall of white supremacy, she has lost her job. She has been disgraced by the same people who propped her up. She's been reduced to a podcast over on YouTube that I do not believe is even monetized. People are continuously disrespecting her. She just got sued for defamation by the president and his wife of France. And now she getting cussed out by Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, the bad boy of the white supremacist red pill in the basement community. Nick Fuentes, the prince of vile racism, the one that went to the White House to have dinner with Kanye West and Donald Trump, the one who is an anti-Semite, spews vile anti-Semitism, anti-blackness and racism towards black people. That Nick Fuentes, the one who dwells in the basement of his mother, the one who has been cast aside, cast out from the other white supremacists who enjoy getting mainstream attention. Nick Fuentes has been reduced to his own podcast, not connected to the other groups, the same as Candace Owens. Here's what went down. Here's what had happened. Candace Owens did an interview with Nick Fuentes. You can see clips out there on social media. You can see people reacting to the clips because it went off the rails. Now, Nick Fuentes does what he always does. He was talking about how he think that black people are inherently dumb. You know, the same old white supremacist, racist rhetoric. Yeah, he talked about how he believed that black people are genetically and inherently dumb. Yeah, and he gave his reasons for it, but we all know the reasons are racism. Anywho, he did that interview with Candace Owens, essentially telling Candace Owens in that interview to her face that he believes that she is inherently dumb. Yeah. Anywho, so then after that, Candace Owens went over to Tucker Carlson and did an interview with Tucker Carlson, where Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens was talking shit about Nick Fuentes. Which led Nick Fuentes to say this about Candace Owens.
To her, totally unimpressive. I watch her shows. It's totally unimpressive. And she's cute. She's good looking. She's put together, you know, as women are. Women are good at being Barbie dolls, you know. And they all want to be Oprah. Brett Cooper, Candace Owens, they all just want to be Oprah. They don't care about this shit. That's all nonsense. They don't care about this stuff. They all want to do a talk show. So she want to do a Barbara Walters, you know, tough interview. Okay. Well, you got what you wanted. So anyway, so that was our collaboration. That was my thoughts on it. The response from almost everybody said the same thing. They said she was emotional. She was triggered about race. She was being almost deliberately obtuse, that it was tedious getting into the screenshots, the drama. And above all else, you know, put some respect on my name. And I hit the nail on my head at the end. I kind of went off. And I said, look, I was 17. What's your excuse? You know, you got married later than me. You got red-pilled later than me. You became a truth teller later than me. And you haven't gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. And she wants to call me out. That's what she texted me. She goes, I'm calling you out. And my response to that is, bitch, you have no right to call me out. And maybe it's time for you as a woman to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's me, a man. You want to say, make me a sandwich? Okay, this is me, a man, telling you, a woman, to sit down and shut the fuck up before you call out anybody else. Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm so sick of it. She's got her book, Make Me a Sandwich. That's the book cover. Her book cover is her sitting cross-legged. I'm going to sit. Her book is her sitting cross-legged, make him a sandwich. Okay. You want that, huh? All right. Well, hey, listen, Daddy's home. Hey, a real man is home. I'm pulling up my sleeves. You want to call me out? Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch. That's what a man has to say. And make me a sandwich and make it good. Turkey and provolone. Can you handle that? But I did eat last night. Turkey and provolone. That's how I feel. And honestly, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Make him a sandwich. And then she texts me on Friday. I'm calling you out. I've had enough of you calling me out. You cannot call me out. 1, you are a woman. 2, you have not gone through a fraction of what I have gone through. You know nothing. I have been on this since 2017, since I was 18 years old. You want to call me out? And that's, honestly, that's the epitome of it all. Before you call out anybody, how about a shred of humility? How about an ounce of self-awareness? Why don't you observe the fact that while you had a contract at Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, InfoWars, book deals, and by the way, Because you're a black woman, because you are a semi-articulate black woman. You're like Obama. She don't talk with that Negro dialect. She was a black woman who did the conservative grift, and she rode that tokenism doing fucking Blexit for 10 years, making millions of dollars, and then married into a wealthy family, and then discovered there's something going on with Israel after only everybody started to notice. Now you want to call me out, the OG? Well, that was your first mistake.
Baby Candace, Nick said you got the wrong one. You got the fucking wrong one. Nick said make him a fucking sandwich. Turkey and provolone. Listen, Nick is harboring some feelings towards Candace Owens because he went on to talk about her book deals and the millions of dollars that she made and the speaking engagements. Yeah, Nick got some hurt feelings about him not getting all of that, and the black woman did get all of that. But I get why he's upset. Candace is doing it for money. It's a grift. He stands 10 toes down in that shit. And he didn't get what Candace Owens got. So I understand. I'm looking at the psychology of all of this and all of Nick Fuentes cussing out Candace Owens. But baby Candace, they don't have any respect for you. And neither do we. We love this for you.
But when I told y'all Candace Owens was getting paid to run one of the largest smear campaigns against Kamala Harris, I was crazy, right? But now she's trying to backtrack and blame it on Christianity as to why she no longer supports Trump. It's not Christianity that's got her concerned. It's the fact that they're not paying her anymore, and she thought that her husband in proximity to whiteness and slandering Kamala Harris was gonna get her on the up and up with Trump. Promised her a seat just like they promised everyone else a seat, but guess who didn't get one? Because they're still a black woman. I don't know why you thought you were the exception. You were not the exception, you were the rule. Forget, you were posting 12 videos a fucking day during the election talking about Kamala Harris and why no one should vote for her. Let's play the video.
But I want to say this, like, quite seriously. 4 years ago, in 2020, I had no kids. It's an incredible thing to think about. I had 0 children, and now I have 3 children. And I'm so serious when I say that I was so concerned about Kamala winning that my husband and I were having serious discussions about what will happen, what can we do, what is our option. And I know that we're not the only family that truly thought about where will we go if
you want to get on here and cry baby tears and say no one told you that Trump was going to be like this. He was never like this. Everybody told you. And you were going to college campuses with fucking Charlie Kirk debating feminists and black women, calling them wrong and saying they had equal privilege as a white man. They paid you for a job. You did that job. But see, just like everybody else that the Trump administration took that job from, that they were offered during the election, you're not going to get that seat that you wanted. You're not getting the seat in the administration that you thought you were going to get. No black person ever was, especially not a black woman. And now you're trying to go back to your other blogging page to try to rekindle some of that money you were making during the election. Not happening, Candace. We know who you are.
Candace Owens, it's given that you don't know what side you're on. You don't know your up from your down, your left from your right. The only thing we do know is that you are a walking contradiction. Candace Owens, you had the platform to empower black people, but instead you stood 10 toes down behind Trump's racism and degrading the black community. Now you want us to believe that all of a sudden you had a change of heart when we know you don't know your head from your hind parts? Because how are you going to say that you regret telling people to vote for Donald Trump, but then in the same breath say that you felt like he was still the better candidate? Candace, pick a side, but you can't. And you know why you can't? Because you don't even believe the things that are coming out of your mouth. Just say the things, sweetheart, because we're already thinking it. You are upset because you thought when Trump got back into office, he was going to give you a job. and he did not. You were not a thought, and you are mad about it. Sit in that.
Does Candace Owens really think that she is more popular than the President of the United States? After listening to her podcast yesterday, I can't help believe she really does. And now I've got a conspiracy as to exactly why Candace Owens has flopped. In her podcast yesterday, she said that President Donald J. Trump called her and basically said that the president of France was here. He pulled him aside right before he left, that they were working on getting a deal done. And he asked her, hey, do you know Candace Owens? And Trump was like, well, yeah, I know Candace Owens. I mean, who doesn't? And he said, you know, she's been talking about my wife, saying that my wife is a man, this, that, and everything else. And Trump was like, okay, well, I mean, I'll ask her to stop. So that's exactly what he did. But Candace Owens was like, hey, if the president of France knows who I am, maybe I'm just as popular as you. Like, be so fucking for real. I bet you anything, Candace Owens thought that President Trump was calling her to give her a job in the White House, which is ultimately what she wanted. And when he refused to bring her on his cabinet, which we know why, she is a major flip-flopper, she got salty. And that's why she started this entire campaign against President Trump. But nonetheless, she agreed to stop talking about the president of France for 30 days. But some of the comments that she's making on her podcast are just so like conceited and cocky, and she thinks that she is the main character. She was like, I need to say something funny while I'm talking to the president because this is going to be my autobiography later on in my life. Girl, get fucking real. I have held off, okay, because in different parties, different beliefs, even in different relationships, you can agree to disagree on things and then still consider yourself a conservative. And I didn't want to make some major claim to Candace Owens about something stupid she thought and then have her come back to reality like she usually does. But this where she thinks she's so important, of course, girl, you get ratings. That's why the president of France knows about you, because it's probably been sent to him 1,000 times. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is if it could delay something from happening and the president of France is okay with blood on his hands, then so be it. But why would you be? I don't know. I'm so sick of hearing about Candace Owens these days and her hatred for the people of Israel and her hatred for this country, and not her unwillingness to be able to praise Donald Trump for the insanely amazing things that he's done. Makes me wonder, is she being bought and paid for? Candace
Owens hot takes of the week. Now, I have a feeling all of this would have gone differently had you have gotten your dream position at the White House. But since you did not get your dream position at the White House, you had a lot of things to say this week. First of all, you're telling everybody just to dishonorably discharge, because why should you have to go fight in a war? Like, it's not an honorable thing to do, that you would rather your 3 kids go to prison, as if it's like your choice for them to go to prison. Because what if one day they want to grow up and be in the military? Is that enough? Are you going to forbid them to do that? Because that's insane. You feel like people are saying that you're getting paid off by Qatar or you're getting funded by them. But at this point, you probably are, and I have a feeling you have a bounty out for $10,000 because you're wanting to find out who to sue. You need to know who you need to sue because that got leaked. I have a feeling that that might actually be the case at this point. You say that Trump has been a chronic disappointment and you regret telling every single person you know to vote for the man, but it was a better choice than Kamala, so what were you going to do? I could actually go on and on by all these wild things that you've been saying, and most people know by now because they actually watch this app.
This is all a go from this video, and I am going to say with this Candace Owens story, I will try as much as I can to break this down for those that have not, that are new to this channel and those that do not understand about Candace Owens political take and all that, right? You all remember, I think 2 years ago, Candace Owens fell out with her former boss, is it the Jewish company she worked with. What's their name again? I can't remember, but if I remember the name of the company again, I will remind you, right? It's a very popular people in United, it's very popular. So I am thinking, but let me just move past that. So 2 years ago, during the 2 years ago or last year, 2 years ago, from 2 years ago, right, when this idea of slavery were beneficial to slavery was beneficial to slaves, right? That they made cartoon about that, right? And they started pushing that agenda that all of a sudden they had one university. Was that what? Can't remember the name of the university, but like it was just like an online university that they brought out and like started teaching people nonsense and also made cartoons that were spread to schools and all that, trying to like, said that slavery was very, very beneficial to black people, that she also ran with, right? So after that, as at last year, during the Palestinian problem and Israel, right? It became a very huge problem that Candace Owens, I knew black people said it, that she was being paid. Some did not believe it. Some believed it because they knew Candace Owens, right? So she was, she was literally everywhere. And when they sacked her from the former boss sacked her, right? She wanted to come back to black community, knowing fully well who she is, said, no, we don't want you in our community. We are not going to support you. And she came out then saying that, who actually told black people that she is against them. But you and I know that, what's her name? Candace Owens is not for black people. She's a grifter, right? So, sorry about that. We moved past that. And the campaign started, and then she spoke the truth about, she's been lying. Then I found out that anytime Candace Owens starts saying the truth, it's either the money they are paying her, they are no longer paying her the money, or she is trying to threaten them so that the money they are supposed to pay her will be paid, right? So she started with that campaign, telling them that whatever that is going on in Palestine was just against human rights and all that. She was very, very vocal about that. And then she was sacked also, Now, she started running Donald Trump campaign. When that campaign started, I do not care about Candace Owens. Knowing fully well about black people, not like maybe I know black people 100%, but I can tell you that I understand black people 90%, right? Let me just leave the 10% for them because they know themselves more than I do, right? She started running that campaign, saying all sorts about black people, which she always, this is not the first time. And also Kamala Harris, right? She made it known that she is not fit. Donald Trump is the most fit human being for the election. So the election came. They did all their campaign with all the people, and including this Nick Fuentes, right? I am kind of surprised seeing Nick coming at her, but I love all this for her. Why? Because she has betrayed her community and also betrayed herself. Now let me tell her, I might cut this short, but now let me bring it down to where black people are. I keep saying this. Sometimes you think all money is good money. I learned this from black people and I am running with it because if you look at it properly, you definitely will understand that not all money is good money. Because in the end, some certain things will backfire, right? She has collected so much money from people campaigning against her own people. Like, who does that? It's only a grifter. It's only Judas. I'm sorry to you, but yeah, it's only a Judas that will sell her own community for just money, right? Knowing fully well that she came out from, she married a rich man too. So what is the quest or the hunger for so much money coming from? See, on a serious note, if Candace Owens had used her own platform properly, right? Trust me, Candace Owens will never ever be a poor person. You wouldn't have to get paid from anybody. Let's say maybe she's being paid, they will pay $100,000. Some people will be like $100,000 is a whole lot of money, but it's still not a whole lot of money. Mind you, why I'm saying it. If Candace Owens has a proper platform where she talks about politics and being transparent with everything she is doing, trust me, $100,000 is not so much money. See, do not get me wrong. Understand where I am coming from. If she can collect $100,000 to campaign against her own people when she knows so well that it is not true, Candace Owens having a good platform will pay her that $100,000 more. Even maybe her monthly salary from YouTube, if her platform is good, with more than 100,000, because I see people copying out 500, 800, 1 million US dollars, right? Some of them that run political political content, some post like 5, 6, 8 times in a day. It is not a big money, but her platform would have given her better money, and she will still be in good terms in community with her own people. See, I don't know how to say this, but hear me out. Anything that will make somebody deviate from her own community, like where you are coming from, to another, I mean, telling lies about your own people, trust me, you are going to lose your people, and also lose the people you are trying to impress. Now she is losing all of, like, look at what they are calling her. I love all this for her. Don't think I do not pity Candace Owens, because I have known her for how many years, and I do not, anybody that say they align themselves, if you align yourself with Candace Owens, you do not have good morals. This is where I stand, and if you support her, that's your own problem, not my problem, right? But I just told you that if you support her, you do not have good morals. And during the period, she said, she turned, like you said, that yes, I know I supported Donald Trump, but I am, trying to speak the truth. Some people did not know that it was the money that they were supposed to pay her that they did not pay her. Some people were like, yeah, maybe she has grown, right? I understand people grow, no problem, no doubt about that. There are some people that when you see their growth, you should be wary. You should be scared too, because their growth comes with terms and conditions. I am going to draw this cut in here. I'm sorry, I am struggling. I lost my voice. Bye for now.